Hey everybody, Pete Greco with Productive Corporation. Hope you're having a great day. Sorry for the delay in getting this thing started. I actually completely forgot how to run the GoToWebinar. Usually my colleague and partner in crime, Todd Obert, is driving this presentation, but he is out skiing, so I'm going solo. No worries. Chat me your questions. If they pop up, I'll definitely handle them as we go through the presentation and give you guys a quick look at some technologies. But hopefully you already know you're here to learn about why cybersecurity is essential to a strong security posture. And what it really should say is why cyber training supports that. So let's get into what's happening. We're going to meet Productive in 1 minute. Who are we? If you don't know already, we provide security solutions for mid-size organizations. Would love to help you with anything that's happening in your environment. We have specialized expertise to help you with tech and licensing questions. We implement, test, and optimize the products that we sell. That includes security assessments, pen tests, Active Directory security, firewall config and review, all kinds of fun stuff to help you keep your security as high as it possibly can. We also do a lot of educational content, videos. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/productivecontent. Also check out our website, productivecorp.com, solving security, and you can get easy access to all of this good stuff. So we're going to talk real quick, and when a lot of folks are talking about end users and cybersecurity, they're thinking about phishing and email security mainly. We are going to talk a little bit about that, but it's also going to include password hygiene, helping them at home, or helping them so that they're educated on what to do and not do at home, and what happens when you start getting socially engineered over the phone, right? So email security, I think everybody on this call probably is aware of everything that I'm going to say here, right? What's the end game? We want to steal IDs. We want to get malware into the environment. We want to learn and recon about the environment so that we can hijack in some way, and that's get ransomware deployed. Maybe we want to use your environment for crypto mining. Right? People who feel like, well, we don't really have anything, so we're not worried, right? You're getting turned into a botnet. Your domain is getting used to send the next batch of emails to everybody so that it's not coming from a known spam domain, right? And the bad news for you, of course, is now you're going to be blacklisted amongst other things that are potentially going to happen. But with ransomware, you know, the nice thing there is whether you have data or not for the attacker, right, is they're going to slow you down from being able to work and force you to pay or spend a bunch of money remediating. So let's you know, get you to the right stage or the right step right off the bat. Right, some things to be asking, and this is what we want to get our end users doing. This is what you guys are probably all doing already when you see emails, right? Is should I even be getting this? I just this morning got one of my favorites, the shipping refund email. You know, frequently UPS just can't wait to get money back into my account. Right? It never happens if I didn't call and hound those guys on getting a refund on a lost package or something like that. They're not volunteering that. And if I'm not in the shipping department, it doesn't apply to me anyway, or I haven't shipped anything ever, or in the last month or whatever, right? It's not happening. Paid invoice confirmations. We get a lot of these, and they don't come to me, right? When they go to our folks in AR and AP, doesn't necessarily mean they're legit, but at least it got to the right person, so it requires further look. When it comes to me or it comes to one of the sales guys or a marketing person or anything like that, right? We haven't bought anything. We don't send the invoices. You can delete that almost without looking at it. Quote requests. Now, this is a tricky one for us. We get quote requests, but a lot of times when we get these, it's for stuff that is not even in our business, right? So no need to click on that or view further when you see that kind of stuff. And if you're not somebody who builds quotes, you can delete it right off the bat, right? So a lot of these, you've seen them, your users are seeing them. Some of them are poorly done. Some of them are getting stopped by your current mail security program, right? But a lot of them are getting through. The hackers are looking at these and they're trying to figure out, how do I bypass, right, the mail security programs? How do I get it in front of your end user? How do I get them to then take the next step and click on it? And of course, one of the ways is by changing up the verbiage so it's hard for the artificial intelligence to figure out what's going on. Those programs are getting better. The attackers have to continue to come up with new ways to get things through. One of those ways over the past year and a half has been leveraging COVID-related stuff. One of my favorites, and I see this one not all the time, but frequently, is stuff from Simply Safe, which has been doing a lot of advertising and marketing lately. So people see that, they feel like this maybe could be legitimate, right? And what they're not necessarily catching is this graphic here is one link, right? And it's taking you back to the foodfashionista.com, actually not Simply Safe's website, obviously. But anything I do here is going to take me back to this same site. So if I try and unsubscribe, I'm going to the attack page, right? And so the Food Fashionista, probably a legit website, that's been compromised and now is probably going to download or give you some kind of drive-by download or some kind of clickbait to complete the attack, right? Hard for end users to necessarily pick this stuff up. And when they see some of this stuff that they've heard about on the radio, they've seen TV ads, it's information that they want to get, right? They're more likely to click on it. Same type of attack here. And the thing that people have tried to do to counter this is just say, well, don't click on anything. We tell our users to not click on anything, right? And so that works for this one and it works for the previous one. But what about here? Doesn't look a ton different from the previous ones, right? But now we're looking at a legit email. Now, this isn't necessarily business related, but this is an email where I actually have done business with these guys. And as I scroll around or click around here, I can see that the links change. Now, you can't see this with the play bar, but you can see the links are changing, and that helps me identify that this is actually a little bit more legit, and the links down here match the brand name and the supposed website or business that I'm doing business with, right? And then if I'm still questioning what's going on, I can do a quick Google search. Let's see if we can forward this slide. There we go. A quick Google search to help identify that that's a legit company. If I'm nervous, though, my best bet here, but it's something that I want to investigate further, is to go directly to the website. And this works great when you're seeing information from your supposed bank, right? I get a ton of these. And the easy thing for me here is I don't bank at Wells Fargo. But if I did, right, and you can see down here, it's not coming from Wells Fargo anyway, right? But if I did, my best bet is to jump right into wellsfargo.com, log in with my account there, and I can handle absolutely anything that they would have reached out to me in an email. Any messages that they would send would be in my secure inbox. If I needed to change my password, I could do it from there, or it would ask me as I'm attempting to log on to that legit website, right? And this is stuff that seems pretty easy to understand. It seems like a lot of common sense, but where these guys get lucky is when you send a Wells Fargo email to a Wells Fargo customer and they want to take action, or you send a Chase email to a Chase customer and they want to take action. And even here, I'm a Chase customer, but I don't use my work email for my Chase account. So when I see this at my Productive Corp versus my personal email, I know there's a problem, right? And so this is the kind of stuff that we want to help people understand. The next level there is passwords, and this is really just an interesting conversation to have with your folks to really get what level of understanding do they have when it comes to passwords, right? And the big trick here is you have so many websites to log into. I use a password manager, and I have over 500 logins stored there. And that's a lot, right? And I've been logging into a lot of different kinds of tech websites and this kind of stuff for years and years and years, and I've only piled more on top, plus all of my personal banking websites and school-related stuff and all this stuff. It's a ton. How do you keep up on it? How do you meet the different password needs? And then how do you remember how to go back and log in? One of the big pains is when you're constantly having to reset your password because you can't remember it, right? And that puts you on this path of where you want to kind of use the same password over and over again. Maybe you've come up with some tricks to try and make a password seem more complex, like I did here, right? Seemingly this is complex, but frequently used password. So even though this maybe even cheats the password requirements, so I've got a character, right? I've got a cap, I've got a number in here. I'm hitting all the parameters, still a highly guessable password, just like any date, right? January 1, January 2, January 3, January 03. All of those are well-known passwords that can be reverse hashed or can be guessed with brute force in a matter of seconds, right? So we got to take it up to the next level, and you got to help folks understand how can I track all of these. Password Manager is a great way to go, and a lot of great choices out there so that you can get them using different passwords for every website and using passwords that look more like this versus password, right? And it gets a little bit tricky because, and I run into this all the time, I like to use 20+ digit passwords. Not every website supports that many characters. I like to just go something completely random, but not every website's going to accept a slash or a tilde or some of these different things, or maybe an asterisk or a dollar sign. If they use those as wildcards, they might not accept it as a password character, right? So it can get a little bit tricky, but this is where end users just need a little encouragement and education to help them get to the next level. The other big trick for social engineering now is people are stealing usernames and passwords, right? And so if they go out and they capture a Pete at Productive Corp username and they capture a password with it, maybe it's to a food site or a restaurant reservation site or something fairly benign where you can't really steal anything from me. The next thing they're going to try and do, though, is they're going to use that password to try and log on to the domain. And they're going to use that username and password combination to log on to the most frequently logged in 200 banks, right? And they're going to try those. And they're looking for people who are reusing passwords. If we have two-factor authentication, that helps defeat that, right? And if we're using different passwords, that helps defeat that. But the next thing that's happening is if they can compromise either a user or a user's email, now they can start resetting passwords to gain access. And one of the big tricks there is, well, I've got these security questions that I've got to answer. How can I find these? That's pretty easy. Go out to your Facebook, go out to your LinkedIn, visit some of your public-facing profiles, and you can start getting the answers to a lot of these security questions, right? So the hard thing there is, well, how do I avoid that? MFA and being on top of passwords goes a long way to help you achieving that goal of making sure you can't get compromised that way. The other big suggestion is don't use the actual answers to your security questions. Use something benign like maybe father's maiden name is Asteroid, mother's maiden name is Asteroid 1. Nobody's going to guess that, right? So it can take you a long way down the road. Lots of password managers to take advantage of. All of them get the job done. One of the big questions that we get when we're talking to folks about passwords is, well, how are these secure? What if LastPass or Dashlane gets hacked? The nice thing is you're storing the encryption key, right? Any data that you're storing in their cloud is completely encrypted by you. They don't have access to that. So if they get compromised and their data or our data gets stolen, the hackers can't do anything with it because it's completely encrypted. And LastPass or Dashlane or Keeper, they don't have those passwords. Downside there is if you get locked out of your password vault, you are locked out. They're not going to be able to help you, and that's part of what makes it so secure. And there's a lot of tools out there, and that can kind of help you, right, get things under management. And then you just really have one master password to manage your password vault, and then it manages all of your individual logins, and you can come up with something creative like I did here. Pete loves to eat. I don't actually use this, so don't bother to write it down. right? And then the next thing that's a big challenge for folks, especially in this crazy world where so many people are working remotely, is home security. And we talk to a lot of folks whose end users have gone home, and maybe they've taken their corporate laptop home and they're VPNing in and they're working that way. Or what a lot of folks are doing is they're getting a VPN client on their personal machine, and then they're remote desktoping to their workstation or laptop at the office, and they're getting their work done that way. And that's a great method, right, that helps you keep control over things on the LAN. But now you've got an unknown device connecting to your network. And the big challenge that we see there is a lot of folks not running up-to-date anti-malware on their home machines. They're running something that's expired, or they're running something that's free, right? And the problem with the free products is you're not getting all the protections you need to be safe in this modern threat environment. The other big thing that we hear is, well, I'm okay because I have a Mac. Tons of Mac malware. This actually, Apple just whitelisted malware. This is actually from late last year. Apple did just push out a bunch of patches for exploits in iOS and Mac platforms. So definitely these guys are extremely vulnerable, just like Windows. And now that there's more and more users adopting Mac, more and more threats and attacks coming out for Mac, right? So no good to just have a Mac. You need to get that really, and I recommend a paid for endpoint security product. There's a cost there. They're not that expensive, but when you really start educating a user, what you're really doing is spending $30, $40, or $50 to prevent identity theft and prevent yourself from having to spend $3 to $5 grand to clean up your credit and clean up your identity. It's really a small price to pay to make sure that they're safe at home, just like you want them to be safe at the office. And then, of course, you've got the phone scams. My favorite is anytime I get a call and Microsoft or maybe some support package that I supposedly bought is going bankrupt, and they want to give me my money back. That's happened never. Right? When companies are declaring bankrupt, the customers are losing. They're not getting refunds or money back or that kind of stuff. Right? My auto warranty expiration is a big one that I get. Seen a lot more calls from supposed police who need to get bail money for a niece or a grandkid or this kind of stuff. Right? And these guys are trying to steal directly from folks, but some of the new things that they're trying to do is gain access into the environment. And that can be calling somebody in an accounting department, right, or a finance department, and trying to get them to authorize payment, send out gift cards, this kind of stuff. They're also trying to get folks to navigate to support websites and download malware or activate malware. So supposedly they're calling from internal IT. And when you've got an organization that's got 5, 6, 7, 800 people, that's where you run into situations where a lot of folks don't know a lot of the other employees. They maybe don't know any of the IT folks to know what they sound like, what they look like, how they operate, how to interact with them, this kind of stuff, right? And there's a lot of success there. So they're saying, hey, did you get this patch? Click down here. Do you see this? Oh, you don't see it? Pretty easy to describe an icon that should be in the system tray that isn't there and get someone to go, oh, no, I don't have it. Okay, well, we just need you to do this, and we're going to get you on your way, right? And what they're really doing is directing them to a compromised website. This is where web security can come into play to help block those. This is where user education comes into play to help them avoid that, right? And definitely where mail security comes into play to block these kinds of emails from coming into play to cause end users to take advantage. So let's take a look at a couple of solutions that we have. Give me one sec here. Here we go. Now I just made a little video so that we don't get locked out on what's going on. So the first thing that I'll take you through is Sophos phish threat. We're going to talk about Sophos phish threat and Eset cybersecurity awareness training. Really a couple of great tools on our line card, very easy for admins to use, very effective for getting your end users up to speed. This product that we're looking at here from Sophos is integrated with Sophos Central, where you can also manage Sophos endpoints, firewalls, APs, all this stuff, but you do not have to be a Sophos customer to just use the phishing training. It is a standalone module. Here's my dashboard. You can see I've got a couple of tests queued up here already. I can quickly see where I'm at in my testing and training, and who's open emails and taken the bait and taken the prescribed training or didn't take the training. I've got a bunch of reports that I can run so I can see who's been caught and what's going on, this kind of stuff. To get started, I can either recycle an existing campaign, or I can start with a brand new campaign if I want, whichever way. I'm going to do new campaign here. You give it a campaign name. Right, and it can be anything that you want it to be, something that describes the campaign probably. And then we're going to choose what kind of testing and training are we going to do from 4 categories. My favorite to get started with is credential harvesting, because when usernames and passwords are out in the wild, that is really where the most damage can happen in the quickest format. Right, so I'm going to choose that. Then I can start doing a little bit of filtering here to kind of figure out what do I want to do. If I'm looking for something specific, I can search for it. I like to choose the heart attack because my team is pretty well seasoned, and all we talk about is cybersecurity, so they're pretty good at this stuff, right? So I'm going to choose what kind of an attack do I want to try and launch. I can see what it's going to look like and how it's going to operate. Then I click to the next page, and here what I'm going to choose is what's going to happen if they fall for the attack. Now I'm going to train them. Now I could just train them, or I can test them and then train them, or I can train, test, train, right? So a lot of capabilities there. I can use my own trainings if I want. So if I've already built something and I want to leverage it here, I can, right? Or I can use what Sophos has built for me already. I can set up, reminders and this kind of stuff to make sure that when folks see that they need to get trained and they don't do it, they get a reminder to come back and do it. Because sometimes this might happen in a time when you're super busy. You did this thing, now you need to get trained, but you're late for a meeting, right? Getting that reminder might be the way to go. You can preview any of these that you see here to see exactly what you're going to do, right? And then ultimately we select what we want. I could click start course there. We're going to go to the next page, and now we're going to be able to start following this wizard to complete creating my training testing template. So this is all the stuff that I've selected. Anything that I see here, I can edit or modify. So if I want to come back and maybe put my, maybe I've got Google Workspace, but we have our logo on it when you log in, I could add that there. So that I'm getting even trickier, right? On the reminder email, instead of kind of this generic language, your administrator, I can actually type in something more custom, or if we have a typical language that we use when we're emailing from IT to the organization, I can add that in. Here I might change it to my name. Everybody knows me at Productive because we're small. We all know each other. So I can put in my name so that the team can see, oh, this came from Pete. I need to pay attention to it, and I need to do what I need to be doing. I can modify the landing page. This is just the default, but I could put in Productive Corp logos, or whatever your company logo is, this kind of stuff. Lots of stuff that I can do here, or I can just sail right through this thing and use all the defaults, right, and get on my way. The last thing that I'm going to do is choose either individuals or groups to assign this training to, and then I'm going to schedule how this campaign happens, and I'll be on my way, which is pretty slick. So I get an overview, and I can launch this at a scheduled time, which is probably mostly what you're going to do. I just did launch immediately here so I could start getting some tests to show for this, and show you some color in the webinar. So here's what the first test is going to come like, or is going to look like. Right, I can review my devices now to see where I've been compromised with my username and password. Now I'm on the Google login page. Anytime you enter a password in one of these tests, it just vanishes into the ether. It's not logged or tracked anywhere. Sophos isn't collecting these. There's no way for the administrator to go in and see what password an end user entered there. So if I just entered, something completely random, you're not going to be able to go out and see it. All you're going to see is they made an entry there, and that's a fail, right? And then if I come back to my dashboard, you can see I've got the new section here, and all the stuff is populating from what I've activated on. Now, as I do the training, that'll pop up. I can go and now run reports and get some additional information about what's happening here, all kinds of cool stuff. So here's the details on the training dashboard. You can see what the training is down below, right? So lots of good info here. All right, and then I'll be able to run an executive report that I can hand out to HR or whoever I want to have that. I can also create, with anybody that failed, I can create additional campaigns just based off of those users. Pretty slick. So let's take a look. We're going to switch over to Eset, and Eset does it a little bit differently. Their tool is called Cybersecurity Awareness Training, ECAT for short. And what Eset likes to do is start off with it's 90 minutes in length, but it doesn't have to be done in 90 consecutive minutes. It doesn't have to be done in the same day or in the same week. But it's a 90-minute course that contains 5 modules. And this is the end user dashboard. So this is what you're going to start your end user with. Now, I've got a couple of things in here, and the recommendation is to just start them with the base training. This gives them a baseline of how to be safe with 5 different categories. So this is how it starts. You're going to click on begin here to get this going. And then you're going to choose, and they kind of gamified it a little bit, right, to make it interesting and fun. You're going to choose an avatar and enter your name, which you can put in anything you want. It's the login is going to get these results back to the training console, right? So no matter what they do here is not going to throw off your reports or change the visibility that you're getting. Now you can see I get a little bit of a welcome here. I can read this and click next. If I've done this already, I'm just going to come straight into the lobby. So maybe I've already done a module. I'm just going to come straight into the lobby. You can see the avatar that I've chosen. If I click on the exclamation points, then I get a little description of each of the 5 modules, right? And I can do these one at a time. I can start one, and maybe I've just realized I'm late for a meeting. I can run out and go do that and come back and pick up exactly where I left off. And I'm going to go through these until I complete it. Once I click on one, now it's going to start the training and take me through this. So very slick, very easy, extremely informative, covering more than just mail security, though that is a big component of it, and I really dig it. Now let's take a look at the administrative console once you get your end users rolling, right? Or this is where you're going to start to get your end users rolling. So you're logging into your dashboard here. We got some alerts and some notifications. You can see I've got some completed tests over here already, right? I can see who's been enrolled and all kinds of fun stuff here, and see some reports and this kind of stuff. I can run reports out of here. So if I need to get information to HR or managers or maybe my cyber insurer is looking for proof that we're doing the right things, I can run those reports. To get started, we create a campaign, and then we can create ongoing campaigns. So after the first 90 minutes, then what we want to do is come back and we want to test and train throughout the year. This can't just be a one-time thing, because people aren't going to remember what's going on, and attacks are going to change, and Eset and Sophos are both updating those all the time. So we're just going to go through the wizard to get started. I entered a name for the campaign. I put in what group or groups I want to test, right? You don't have to do different training for all your different groups of employees, but you can if you want to. And I'm just going to continue along the wizard here. Because we've done this already, we've got some templates in here, but I can choose new templates to add so I can change it up so I'm not training on the same thing over and over again, obviously. And once I choose a template, it comes into the My Template library. So I can select that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is choose the language, or that's what I'm reading off the screen. Choose my users and verify this and run it. And then this is going to go out on demand and hit all my users in the way that I've prescribed. Once they start clicking on stuff and creating, virtual headaches or imaginary headaches in the training or in the test, then they're going to get trained, and I'm going to be able to see who's done what, who's failed, who needs more training, and this kind of stuff. If I want to come in and create my own custom campaigns, I can. I can import all of my folks in here and group them up any way that I want. I can modify the content or use what has been prescribed by Eset already. So a lot of capabilities there is pretty slick. And of course, the big one, I think, for a lot of folks. And 2 years ago, the reporting was not important to folks. They were looking at the training. They wanted to get people knowledgeable. And now that attacks continue to rise, reporting has really become a big request, both so that they can show internal stakeholders. So frequently HR people, could be business owners or the C-suite folks. But we're also hearing folks now asking more, what kind of report could I kick out to my cyber insurer? And what they're trying to do there is prevent rates from going up, be able to get insured at the best possible cost and stay in line there. So just a lot of good stuff. Really some neat reports that you can see. Here's the executive report here. A lot of color in there, a lot of information about what's going on. Pretty slick method. Really like both of these solutions. So sorry for going over our time by 3 minutes. Let's check and see if we had any, not a single question. Hopefully it's because I overachieved in providing free education here. Appreciate you attending. Gift cards will be going out soon after the event. Your productive rep will be following up with you after the event. If you want to learn more about either of these or both of these products to help you improve your cybersecurity training, we'd love to help you out with that. If we can talk with you about other cybersecurity initiatives, we'd enjoy that as well. Thanks for coming, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day.